Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. And as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, something we talked about as potentially being a possibility. Detroit Lions have released cornerback Cam Sutton. I know it's probably not a shock to most Lions fans. We thought we'd maybe get more clarity on his situation before the Lions made any particular move. But as we all anticipated, this did go down just minutes ago, as per the Detroit Lions Twitter. Lions, hey, just 13 minutes ago, have released cornerback Cam Sutton. Probably not a big surprise. Probably not going to draw a lot of notifications from that. But the Lions previously signed Sutton to a 3-year, $33 million deal via free agency a year ago. After last season, with a $21 million being fully guaranteed, of which basically $11 million was his signing bonus, according to Fox Sports. Sutton had his $10.5 million 2025 base salary guaranteed in his contract, but due to his off-field incident, that guarantee could be voided by the team. So I don't have that 100% for certain, but it does sound like the upcoming 2024 season contract and the terms within that contract might be voidable by the team due to the off-field incident. I don't wish ill will on anyone. But I'm going to say this. It's unfortunate that this situation has come about. I'm sure we all don't know the full details pertaining to this. But I'm going to say this. Having been in the industry for a while, you're not letting him go and putting yourself up to potential lawsuits for an improper release if you didn't corroborate some information or get some real inside information yesterday and today that allowed you to believe that you were safe in doing so, releasing Sutton. Gina Ackerman, it also goes on another note here. Sutton had his $10.5 million 2024 base salary guaranteed in this contract, but due to the off-field issues, it is up in the air whether or not they'll be voidable or guaranteed, or if that guaranteed contract is voidable. So I'm not going to speak on it right now because it's outside my purview, outside of my knowledge base. And to be honest, I don't know every single rule or law within the NFLPA, Players Association's guidelines pertaining to this. I do know there's been some adjustments since the Ray Rice incident, because as most of you know, and if you watched the Lions morning show today, we talked about this on air, that when Ray Rice was released and then banned by the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens had to endure all of that onto their salary cap for the rest of his contract. That is not potentially still the case in the NFL. Not anything anybody wants to report on. Nobody wants to see somebody else do bad, or at least not me. So I'm going to say this. It does potentially give the Lions a little bit of clarity and the ability to move forward. Are they going to sign another cornerback in his stead or place? We'll wait and see on that. Are they going to draft somebody? My anticipation, and all it is my anticipation, is if that guaranteed money is now voidable and returns to the team, then you're probably going to see the Lions sign another free agent cornerback. I know some people said Gilmore this morning. There could be potentially other cornerbacks they'll look to bring in, but the Lions secondary is fairly deep. Let's not forget that you've got Davis III now a part of the team. You got Robertson a part of the team, Branch a part of the team, Emmanuel Mosley. So you get it. There's some depth there. And could they potentially bring back somebody else, somebody who was with the team last year? Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure this is going to be a fluid situation for several days. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. Trump, woo! The first woo of the show. Donkey Kong, LOL, yes, no surprise here. Probably not. Probably like most of us, we wanted to hear a little bit more clarity on what's happened. I don't want to point a finger at anybody and say they're guilty until I know they are. I'm just going to say this, Donkey, that for the Lions to do this now leads me to believe they had some more information come in yesterday or today where they felt like it was time to part ways. All right, Angie, such a shame. 100%. Yeah, don't wish this upon anybody. I just hope that I hope he's okay, and the person that is alleged to have been hurt is also okay. Josh, do we have to eat that cap money? That's what's not clear right now. So I have conflicting information on it. Let's just say this. It's a gray area in the contract. Now, most contracts in the NFL do have something pertaining to off-field situations, code of conduct policy that teams and the NFL go by because they want to protect the shield. That also being said, with his money for this season being 10.5 guaranteed, is that now voidable because of the off-field incident? I'd be speculating at best if I could give you a guaranteed answer, but I would say this morning I would have said it's probably guaranteed. Now I'm saying it's iffy, so that leads me to believe that the Lions might get that money back. Bergs, no surprise, and I do want to thank you for sending me the text. I know you and about 2 other people, including the Sarge, sent that over, so I got up on the mic as fast as I could. Brother Ken, okay, so now how does this affect the salary cap? That's going to be the big question. I'm going to say, like I was just saying, Ken, earlier today, I thought the Lions would have to eat it. Now it sounds like it is really kind of a point of contention. My guess is you're going to get the NFL, its lawyers involved on it, plus the NFL Players Association. I mean, they're going to try to protect their side of things with the player. The NFL is going to try to protect the team, the shield. My ultimate guess is that the money probably will come back to the Detroit Lions, or at least the vast majority of it. All right, Don Kong, so who's still available, Master Dan? There's quite a few cornerbacks. There's probably not going to be the highlight reel ones. Who knows? Maybe still trade for Ladarius Sneed, although I would say that's probably less than likely. But I'll put it this way, Donkey. Let's assume that for a moment, 10, 11 million comes back to the Detroit Lions on the books. You've now freed that money up from Cam Sutton. If Sneed's contract, I'm trying to remember what it is offhand. I want to say it was like $22 million a year. So you would be basically doubling down by getting him plus a draft pick. I don't see the team doing that, but there are some other cornerbacks out there that would be probably decent upgrades over some of our depth currently on the team. Bus driver coach, if the NFL suspends him, would we be able to recoup some of the camp? Well, since he's been released, bus driver for basically off-field incidences and stuff that's detrimental to the conduct of the team, then they could say that, yes, they get all the money back. But again, I want to caution, that's a gray area. I don't know 100% sure yet. All right, one funky, it is what it is. Just have to wait and see what the cap breakdown is. 100%. Yeah, my guess is we'll probably have clarity on it later tonight, maybe tomorrow at the latest. All right, Michael, I feel for the kid. His professional life is over. I heard somebody talking about that today, and it is what it is. And here's what I can tell you. Life isn't always fair. You're going to see some people in pro sports or other professions just because they're so highly skilled at what they do. I've seen it on Wall Street. I've seen it in sports where because they're so skilled, something like this, you know what, somebody will give them another chance. I'm just not sure if Cam Sutton's that guy. Could he still get another chance? Potentially, but he didn't have a phenomenal year last year. He's 29, so if he sits out a season, now he's 30 going on 31, it's probably tough for him. Donkey, F the cap, who's still available? Hey, maybe somebody can throw something up there. Brother Ken, NFL morality clause would void his contract, shouldn't it? I believe it would. It's just, I just don't want to say, I don't want to tell you guys one thing and end up being incorrect on it. I don't want to steer you in the wrong light. So I believe there is a reasonable chance the Lions will be able to recoup his contract. It's just whether or not that comes to pass. All right, Coop, LOL. All right, Trump, hit that like. Yes, if you're watching and you enjoy the channel, hit that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I don't even know. I think we're like 20 subs away from 6,200. So if you're enjoying the content, you enjoy the channel, enjoy my crazy hair, hit that subscribe button. One funky brother Ken, possibly. Yes, possibly they can get all the money back, but we'll probably have clarity on that within 24, 48 hours. Troy, unfortunate. Truly hope we figured this story out, and I hope he and the alleged victim are okay. Yeah, 100%. And as far as I know, nobody still had contact with him. So I'm really hoping that, Cam Sutton's okay. I'm hoping the person who was alleged to have been hurt by him too is also okay. I just don't see a winner in this situation, and that's unfortunate. John, 100%. All right, Man Bear, what did I miss? Cam Sutton has been released by the Detroit Lions. He is now a former Detroit Lion. Brother Ken, okay. Trump's Mixon broke a girl's jaw, no justice. Hey, like I said, man, the world is crazy at times. Don Kong, it's both free agents and defeat. Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. Robert G, when you have millions and a lawyer and don't turn yourself in, wow, just don't understand. Hopefully is okay. And that's, again, maybe somebody's had contact with him that I'm not aware of. But at least before I went on the air, I tried to real quick see if there was any updates. Has he talked to somebody? I couldn't find anything. So at this point, if it's really been 2 weeks where he hasn't spoken to anybody at the Detroit Lions organization, the legal department of Florida, you start to wonder and worry. Nobody's seen him at his house, allegedly. Nobody's can track his phones. They haven't been able to contact him. He hasn't responded to texts or calls. You just really hope the guy's okay. And again, same with the person that is alleged to have been the victim in this. All right, Brett, number one, prayers for all individuals involved, 100%. Hopefully everybody works through it. My experience, a lot of times these events just come through usually two young people, maybe having a bad moment in time. And it's just, it's terrible that something like this could potentially alter two people's lives so much. It's I mean, that's life. And we are all judged by the results of our actions in life. And hopefully everybody's okay. Weston Lyon, oh dear, what a shame. I'll be sure. I'm sure Brad will find his replacement. Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit, Weston, in the morning show. I believe the Lions brought in Davis and Robertson, and probably even to a certain extent re-signed Emmanuel Mosley because they became somewhat aware of this. To me, it would be just a major, small chance, I guess I would say, if the Lions organization, their security team, did not become aware of this within 24 hours of it happening down in Florida. So on March 7th, my guess is probably later that day, since it was early in the morning, probably by noon our time, maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, their security detail was probably already on it and investigating it, which makes a lot of sense because you're going into free agency and now you sign 2 corners on back-to-back days, just days after this. That's my anticipation. They probably knew about it, and we may already have the replacements. It doesn't mean they don't address it further beyond here, especially if they do recoup his contract money onto the salary cap. But again, I just hope everybody's okay. Let's see, DCW. No one has found him. How do they know he wasn't killed or blamed for something? Sorry, the whole thing seems sketchy. That's the crazy part of it is, I want to preface this. Maybe somebody has talked to him. Maybe somebody from the Lions organization has. Maybe there's information you and I just don't have. That's this part I can't comment on. And, all of us are just, full of conjecture at this point, what the actual details, what happened that morning, all that stuff. No doubt, is it going to come out in time? Or at least I would assume so. But right now, I'm surprised the Lions released them unless they did get some more information and now they felt comfortable going forward in that way. So we'll figure things out over time. John, affordable vet cornerback and a draft pick would be fine in your opinion? Yeah, that might be the way they go. James, could be a good thing if we got to the Super Bowl and Cam on the team, he may have choked. Oh boy, here we go. All right, Trump's no one player is bigger than this team. Yeah, and I think that's the one good thing I would say when they've constructed the vast majority of the players, and we talk about this a lot on the morning show, where you look at the personality types they target. They're all pretty similar. And I have no doubt this will be an outlier situation or moment for the Detroit Lions. It's not going to be the norm. I don't think they want anything to do with something like this happen. Now, we don't know if Cam is the victim. We don't know if, the reports are accurate. All that stuff at this point, I can't say I know one way or the other. I just know there's accusations, and not every time is there an accusation in life. Is the accusation correct? All right, Ken, do we have any players we're looking at to replace them? I'm going to work on that later today and try to get it before tomorrow morning's show. But as of right now, I'm not aware of anything. Other than, well, I guess the Lions did have the one cornerback in. Now you got me thinking about it, that they didn't sign. What was it, last week? Boy, I got to remember who it was. They brought him in for a workout. He's from the Detroit area. Boy, could that have been a prelude? Do they know something then waiting for this to sign him? So if he gets signed in the next couple of days, that's probably a further indication they were aware of this situation well before it became public. Mr. Nico, I hope he gets the help he needs and everyone emerges from this healing. 100%. Brother Ken, Robert G, I agree 100%. Dude, you're a multi-millionaire. Turn yourself in and lawyer up. I'll go with that. Walt, I heard he could be at home in Georgia and Michigan and Florida. Yeah, he could be anywhere. And I think that's part of it right now. Nobody seems to know where he's at. Lando Miles, what do you got? What about the Stingers, the 21-year-old rookie cornerback from the CFL? Question marks. I think he will make the team. I mean, if we draft him, sure, it could happen, 100%. Troy, Sport Track stated we forfeit $6.54 million in cap space. Okay. Like I said, it may end up being that, but right now I know there's different stories. One are saying that we don't get to do anything. Another is saying that we do get to get the money back. So that's as much as I can comment on right now. One funky, this doesn't change anything about the draft, and this regime most likely knew this before free agency started. This happened 4 days before the tampering period started. Yeah, and one funky, I know we talked about this morning. To me, it's just way too coincidental that not only did this incident happen, as you put, days before free agency, but then early in free agency, you signed 2 cornerbacks. I get you're trying to improve the position, but you also had just re-signed Emmanuel Mosley. So that's 3 corners, and you already had some, decent corners on the team. So that just seems like you were really going all in on the quarterback position. And so I'm just going to say this. I believe that they probably did know about Sutton's situation. All right, Josh, do you think America is good enough to start next to Davis third? I do. And a lot of that's going to come down to, are you going to play him outside and then Branch basically as your pseudo slot and then Davis out the other outside? That could happen. I do also believe that they're going to try to do a little bit more at this point. I also will say this, Emmanuel Mosley, if he's healthy and shakes off the rust, now you've got some real depth in that secondary, and you could further that with another signing in free agency or the draft. Brent, guilty or not, I hope they find Cam alive and well. 100%. Yeah, 100%. We all have moments in life that we probably regret. At least I know I do. I mean, I'm 52 years old. I get it. Not everything's been perfect in my life. I'm going to say this. Cam Sutton's a young man. He's 29 years old. He's probably going to look back on this, and I hope it just doesn't haunt him forever. I hope he learns from it, grows from it, and him and the other person involved are okay from it, grow from it. Raw podcast. Wow! Exclamation point, Cam. Yeah, I hope he's okay, man. Walt also heard police contacted his lawyer and no reply. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, and for the lawyer, if that's accurate, if the lawyer doesn't respond, that's questionable in my eyes. We'll see what happens, I guess. Raw, is he still on the run, Coach Dan? As far as I know, Raw, nobody's heard from him. If you know something or somebody in the comment section knows something, I'm not privy to it. I have not heard anything from different either the Detroit Lions organization, the legal department or whatever you want to say, law enforcement in Florida. It sounds like everybody's on the same page. Nobody's heard from him. So, all right, 313, man, got a feeling that this story isn't going to end well, not ruling out foul play. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not like I haven't thought that very same thing. 2 weeks with nobody having contact with him. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. I'm hoping the guy's okay. I'm hoping this all works out, even if it's worst case scenario where hey, he just wanted to go off the grid for a little bit, and maybe he had a moment, just needed a break, whatever. I get he's got to come back and face the charges and everything. Let those things work themselves out, and now resume your life, get back to things because. I hope he's okay. All right, Mike the Marine, howdy, Dan Lions faithful, praying for victims in both families as well as Cam. 100%. Yeah, that's all you can do. Broski, poor move by the Lions. This is unfair prejudgment, and that's what I was saying earlier, Broski. I was surprised by it, but does this mean they now have information? And they're not going to give us all the details if they do, or if their security team came up with some stuff. They must have clearly felt like they had enough information to make this judgment and now move on from Cam Sutton. So again, thoughts and prayers with him, his family, the alleged victims, everybody involved, because there's just nobody's coming out of this doing well. Coop, LOL. All right. Chrome, it's a big process to get back in the NFL. It's possible. Yeah, it is. He could potentially return, but I think working against him is going to be his age, his position, and the fact that he's more than likely going to be out for a little bit. Even if this thing all goes, in his favor and hey, everything's false or whatever, I just think a lot of NFL teams are going to stick away from him for a little bit. Now, could that mean half a season, a full season? Who knows, man? Bus driver, wonder if it opens up the door for Gilmore on a 1-year deal. Might have to pay a little more, but 1-year deal might be worth it. It could happen, man, 100%. Trump's Bear made the know more than we do. Yeah, they may know more than we do, 100%. And that's why I'm leaning Trumps and Bears. That my guess is the Lions have now intimate information. They felt comfortable going forward, releasing Cam Sutton. It's unfortunate because I do not like throwing stones at anybody. I don't like saying somebody's guilty until they have their moment to defend themselves. He obviously doesn't have that at this point. So hopefully it all works out for both him, the Lions, the alleged victims, etc. All right, Raw Podcast. What's the priority in the draft, cornerback or pass rusher or offensive lineman? Who knows? Yeah, I'm going to guess the Lions are going to keep us guessing. If you had to ask me, it's offensive line, defensive line, and then secondary. From there, you're filling out spot. Some point, probably getting a kicker as well to challenge Badgley. All right, Brother Ken, Broski, I would disagree. Dude is a fugitive from justice. Bad luck. It is. Obviously, I'm not his lawyer, but I would not have encouraged him going off the grid and avoiding responding to the police for several weeks. Somebody, I don't remember who put it in the chat, but somebody's going to come up with more information over time. It's going to break at some point, and I'm just hoping everybody's okay at this point. I really hope. I think it was 313 that put it in there. You just hope it's not foul play and anything egregious at this point. All right, Chrome. Didn't NFL let Ray Rice back? I think he had to serve like a year on the sideline, basically, out of the league. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a few years since that one, and I don't remember all the details. All right, 313 DCW777. I agree. Okay. Trumps. I think Ray Rice was allowed back, but no one signed him. That might be it. But I want to say he was out banned for like a year, and then he could resign, and I don't think anybody resigned him. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Big Daz, what do you got? If you watch Brand Holmes since being here, he's always going for the best player available in the draft. Yeah, I agree. That's while it'll always be a surprise after he drafts. Yeah, and I'm speculating when I say I think they'll go offensive line, defensive edge, and then cornerback, because who knows, man? The very first pick of the draft for the Detroit Lions could be a punter, man. I mean, who knows, man? I don't really think it's gonna be a punter. Ken, as bad as this is, I hope the kid gets the help he needs and everyone involved. My 2 cents on the cornerback. They don't have to bring in a superstar. They can find another solid corner free agent draft too. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's my guess. That's probably how they go. Rob Podcast. We got Gilmore, Adoree Jackson, CJ Jackson, Xavier Howard. I still out there 1-year deals for these veterans. Yeah. And that's, I think, the way you're thinking right now, one of those guys potentially could land in Detroit, especially if you're not looking at him being the number 1 or 2. You're asking more to be the number 3 or 4. Yeah, I think that could definitely help. Delbert T, what do you got? What effect on the cap? That's where the debate is right now. Do we get all of Cam Sutton's money back? Do we get a portion or none of it back? So we've got to wait and see on that. At least I do not have that information. All right, Chrome, crazy dude threw $10 million out the damn window. And it is, man. But you know what? He won't be the first rich person to do that. He won't be the last. He won't be the first athlete or person on Wall Street or whatever else, man. I mean, it happens. Ken, what do you got? Until all the info comes out, no one will know the whole story. It's just speculation at this point. 1,000% agree. We're all waiting to get the full story. And as of right now, I don't believe it's out there. Robert G, totally agree with you, brother Ken. 100%. Yep. Jason, what do you got? I bet J-Mo is putting his bid in for that number 1. It could be. Yeah, and I know he wanted that number once upon a time. Might get it now. Raw Podcast. I can't talk right now. Raw Podcast. How does this affect the Lions books? Cam Sutton? I doubt very little. I don't think it's going to have a real impact with Vegas. You would have to talk about, I think, a more significant player, maybe somebody who has just a bigger impact on the team, like a Goff or something like that. All right, Trump. Sounds like Booze was involved. It happened at 4:30 a.m. Maybe he's an early riser. I get up at 4:30 a.m. sometimes, but usually it's to hit the bathroom. Easy. What do you got? This could be a blessing in disguise. There are some people that have pointed that out, that Sutton did not perform well last year, probably not earning that contract. It's just, man, if that's the way we're going to clean the books and get him out of here, I'm praying that he's okay. I hope he's okay. I guess see where it goes, man. Cody, what do you got? Tavarius Thomas was signed by Tampa Bay. Okay, there we go. And thanks for that, by the way. Steve, I think we can some of the dead cap to next year designate post 1. It could be. We can shift some of that over there. That could happen. All right, Marcus, is there a reward for Sutton's capture? I have no idea. If you want to know on that, you probably have to go to the local municipality or state website and see if he's listed. So if you're going to be like, a Dog the Bounty Hunter or somebody else, there probably is some type of award, especially if he jumped the bail, but I don't think he's even gotten to that point yet. But you'd have to check on that. June 1st. Yes. Thank you, Steve. Cody, y'all need to stop making jokes about this. Yeah. And it is what it is, man. All right, Steve, this signing really hurt the team. Okay. What signing is that, man? Oh, the Cam Sutton. Sorry, man. Took me a second. All right, Trump, he could have drank too much and blackened out. Yeah, and it happens, man. I was just watching a video yesterday morning or whatever about a dude on a cruise liner, got up to go to the bathroom during the middle of the night, woke up, apparently blacked out or something. He was in the middle of the ocean, no boat around or anything. So he fell off the side, was in the water, somehow floated around before he regained consciousness. And that the cruise liner was gone, or cruise boat was gone far enough where he couldn't even see it. Somehow the dude survived. He swam in the ocean with sharks and everything at the Caribbean for like 12 or 18 hours before a boat just happened to go by and find him. So sometimes booze does things, I guess. 9 drinks, G's, 100%. John, dude is out of the country. There have been people that have speculated about that. Easy seems out of character. He must have been really pushed emotionally. Hope he didn't hurt himself. That's where I would go with it. He seems more introverted to me, and introverted more than potentially any other player on the Detroit Lions that I'm aware of, at least. So whatever happened to cause this, we're going to have to wait and find out. But I would concur with you on that, Easy, that it doesn't seem like his normal personality traits in play. But when you involve booze, something emotional, things do change. All right, Steve, we need to sign another veteran corner. We might sign. Yeah, I knew where you were going with that, man. Terry, in the service, we call this conduct unbecoming. 100%. Yeah, and it's it can get you kicked out of the forces for 100%. All right, Steve, what do you got? Look at his social media, and end of last year, responding to trolls. Something was off then and should have been a warning sign. It's one thing I do mention to players: your social media, have one for just you and your friends, family that nobody can identify. Have one for your public persona, I guess you could say, and let somebody else handle the public persona. Do not get engaged with it just for that point. Rachel, theory: Cam got murdered, and the woman accused is a cover-up to make it look like he offered himself due to the accusations. No one is saying she did, but it could be involved. But she could be involved. And you know what? The fact that when the police arrived for the when the call was made and everything, I hate saying it, but it's something that could be looked into, and we're all gonna have to wait and see what happens with this. Jason, maybe sign Vildor. Maybe that's a possibility. Steve, he's not that great of a player to come back from this, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, that he did not have a great season a year ago, and now this on top of it. Even if he's exonerated from all charges and he's okay, man, you just wonder, man. I just hope he's okay, because right now that's the big question mark everybody's facing. Where is Cam Sutton? Is he okay? And like Rachel had, there's all sorts of speculation now emerging. Maybe he's not okay. Maybe something has happened. All right, Rachel, just a theory. No, and I get it, and thank you for that. But you're seeing more and more of these theories pop up. And if something like this comes to pass, man, I just hope he's okay, man. All right, Steve, you can't count on Mosley. I feel, and hey, he's been injured 2 straight years. I get it, man, but they're taking a chance on him. Easy, Steve, you're okay. Very good. All right, Rachel, I do think our team is still a very strong team. 100%. Yeah, in Sutton, because we talked about the depth in the cornerback position. Sutton, may have been a starter, or he may have been depth. If Emmanuel Mosley comes out and just, does incredibly well, he's probably going to be a starter. He's that skilled. I think most of us, if you watched him play with the Niners, etc., he fits what this regime wants to do to a T. Sutton, more of a zone corner. The team clearly played zone early in the season. Sutton looked better. Later in the year, when they went to more man-to-man, he didn't look as great. And some of that was because of the turf toe injury, so I get that. Ken, there are still solid corners out there. I am not worried. This Lions team is a very different group than years past, 100%. And you know what? Whether it's free agency or the draft, they're going to probably add some pieces to the pie. George, what do you got? Wild theories and speculation are inappropriate now. Yeah, let's wait and see what happens. All will be revealed in time. That I don't doubt. Robert G., from a legal standpoint, I'm sure the Lions organization knows enough to avoid legal problems for them. In just your opinion? Yeah, I get it. And that's why I was saying earlier in the show, there's no way they're releasing him if they didn't feel like they were justified in doing so. So What information did they acquire yesterday or earlier today that led to this? We're going to probably all have to wait and wait for somebody to talk off the record to get that kind of detailed. And as of this time, I don't have anybody who's wronged me about it. So, all right, one funky. Steve, how many more ACLs does he have to injure? I would say this: if you're talking about Mosley, I'm assuming at this point both of those ACLs should be real good to go. He might need a little bit more time for the second one to fully heal and vestate itself, but from that standpoint, when by the time he hits this regular season, I'm guessing he'll be good to go. All right, Johnny, keep showing Trump's chat profile pic. All right, I guess I didn't pay attention to it this time, so sorry about that. Let's see. Mitchell, what do you got? The go cornerback at round 2 or 3. Too bad for Cam. Yeah, and I don't think it's going to affect potentially the first round, but to your point, it could be the second or third round. Easy, JMO number 1, Hooker number 2. Fair enough. All right, Johnny, what do you got? Our lawyers will litigate with the NFL to free up that cap money. It's possible. Sure, totally possible. Easy, I hope to God Cam is okay too. He seems like a great guy. He does, man. I'm not aware of anybody from either the Steelers or the Lions who have had anything bad to say about him. I get some of the fans, hey, second half of the season, he's playing injured. You know, he wasn't shutting down the elite receivers. But that's different than a person who they are. Or you want to talk about athleticism and stuff. That's one thing. Who you are as an individual is something completely different. Billy Ken, after the Jeff Okudah debacle, I'm weary of drafting a cornerback. Yeah, especially in the first round. I would agree with that. Johnny, what do you got? At least this happened before the draft and still with free agents available and not during the season. Yeah, and I know I've said it before in the show. I'm 100% in my mind. I'm 100% sure the Lions in their representation, their legal team, their security details, they all knew about this within 15 to 24 hours of it going down. All right, 9 drinks. Raw Detroit is one of the best. It is. He is. All the above. All right, Ken. Time will tell. See how the Lions proceed with everything. 100%. Yeah, it's right now. Hey, they've moved on with him. They probably have their reasoning why. Now we just have to wait and see what all the actual facts are of the situation. Is Cam okay? What about the alleged victim and such? We need to wait and see on all that. Michael, police report stated that the victim had suffered head injuries and strangulation injuries around her neck. Yes, I heard that part too. So, and who knows if they were able to get DNA or anything off of her, I should say. That corroborates who it was. That part I don't know, and I don't want to speculate on. All right, Chrome. That's wild. Dan, crazy sharks didn't get him. Yeah, the kid off the boat. Yeah, and the fact that he made it out in the Caribbean during the day and part of the night for 15, 18 hours, whatever it was. It was wild. And the interviewer clearly asked him, "Did you have drinks?" And he came out and said, "Yeah, I had 1 or 2 earlier in the day." And then she came back and said, "Well, what about at night?" And he was like, maybe 1. He was clearly not trying to address that part of the topic. All right, Billy Kidd, we won't get any cap relief, which sucks. Yeah, it seems to be that's a debate if they will or won't. So I don't know at this point. We'll wait and see. 9 Drinks heard today that Lions could void Sutton's contract. And that's what I'm saying. There's a certain segment that says it is voidable because of conduct detrimental to the team. There's another part that I've read where it's not as clear because his contract was fully vested and guaranteed for the 2024 season. So people with more money and lawyers than I am are going to be debating that one. All right, easy. Damn, Rachel, that's a hell of a take. You never know. Hey, man. I can remember stories, covering as a courtroom reporter, lady. I'll just say an individual who said that, she was assaulted and everything, and nobody could find the other half in her relationship. Ended up, they eventually figured it out when they gutted some pigs. We'll put it that way. They found the missing individual that way. Marcus, could this be CTE related? Without putting him through tests, it's going to be impossible for anybody to know at this point. Rachel, easy. I'm back at school for CSI, so my brain tends to think of many wild possibilities, and especially down in Florida. I know that from covering some stories down that way, there's a lot of different ways somebody wants to get missed you can make somebody disappear. And that's going to be one of the challenges of local law enforcement, is to hopefully just find him okay. But if he's nowhere to be found, that's going to raise a lot of red flags over time, the longer this goes. All right, not to make this a crime channel or anything, but investigative channel. Man Bear, if the Lions release him, they must know something. Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it. If they did it today, the day after the news broke, they felt fairly comfortable with doing so. Trump, 277 watching. Hit that like. Yeah, I don't know where the likes are on this one. I can't tell you where it's at. Just hopefully, if you guys are watching and you enjoy the content, you'll hit the like button. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. As hey, I'm trying to get to 6,200 subs, and I want to say I'm less than 20 away. So if you'd be so kind as to do that, I would be very thankful. And I forgot to do a couple things for the channel. I was in such a hurry to get this up for you guys that I forgot to do some of the details of it all. So, all right, 9 drinks. I think I saw Cam getting a do at Circle K this morning in South Florida. LOL, boot, really? Yeah, and the Circle K that I go to, the last day of it is going to be Wednesday. And I'm going to, since I won't be around for that, I'm taking some of the people like Bobby and Kathy and everybody a little gift, because it's their life, man. They've been there a long time, and yeah, I'm sorry to see that that's going to close for them. All right, John, what do you got? Joining in late. Does anyone know the nature of the initial confrontation? Was it a paternity issue? Question mark. She's keeping him away from the kid, or was he challenging it? Or was his child? That part I don't know. I know the basically the nutshell that there was an alleged assault, strangulation around her neck and upper chest. But beyond that, John, I don't know. A 9 drinks, not okay. Trump's, if he is okay, this is not cool letting people worry about him. Hopefully he is okay physically and mentally, emotionally, but we're all going to have to wait and see until he is found somewhere, and hopefully he's found soon, just for his own safety. All right, Bo, what do you got? I am not going to make any judgment either way. The Lions have to do what is necessary. Yeah, they have to take care of their part. And again, I think we all pretty much agree. We're praying that Cam Sutton and the alleged victim are okay. All right, Michael, why haven't they reached out to Cam's wife and kids? Question mark. Why hasn't his wife made a statement? Probably will come in time, but I also got to imagine this is a very emotional moment for them. True Light, is Sutton still on the run? As far as I'm aware, when I went on air, he was not accounted for yet, so I don't believe he has responded to anybody at this point. Or at least nobody publicly. Maybe I should say that. Brother Ken, Michael, Allen, what do you got? Cam doesn't have a wife, baby mama. Yes, correct. Getting Campbell, what do you got? Hit that like button for you, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. All right, Steve-O, a lot of people forget about Mosley. I don't know how he will play, but I don't think he's going to tear another ACL in 3 straight years. No, I would. If he does something with an ACL this year, it's got to be, in my opinion, a straight-on hit that causes it, or he's got to have some sort of just set up with his lower legs and his higher legs, where maybe the way he runs or walks is causing grinding on it, which is basically causing them to tear. So, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess after having both ACLs worked on, the doctors and medical staff would have addressed any of that from if he's got a hip issue that's helping grind those ACLs, something along those lines. All right, Robert G., I don't think they would have issued a warrant if they didn't know something concrete. It does happen. You'd be surprised. People get arrested on warrants, and then later on you find out that the entire thing is not legit. So I don't want to say one thing or another. I'm going to guess local law enforcement felt like they were justified in issuing the warrant and then receiving the warrant to go after him. But I can also say I've been surprised a few times. All right, Bailey, what do you got? Do the Lions take a big cap hit? That's what we're up in the air waiting to see right now. Is do they have to take on the burden of the full cap for this season or the contract, or is it all going to be squashed and put off the books, voided because of morality clauses within the NFL and the Shield? All right, Random, what do you got? PFT says the contract was voided, $10 million, and cap space just opened up. Okay, I would say Pro Football Talk would probably know more about that side of things than most of us. They're going to have a dedicated team to researching that. So I'll go ahead and say this: if they've got that on there, it's probably legit. The Lions probably just got back here at $10.5 million. All right, Big T, hit that like one pride, 100%, and thank you, Big T. Cam might be here in Michigan. It could be. Steve-O, I think it's weird. No one has heard from Cam Sutton. Me too, man. At this point, it seems really out of nature for him and just any person in the day and age where everybody's addicted to their phones or whatever have you to just not have talked to anybody. Now, maybe he has. Maybe he's done it through other means. Maybe he's got a second phone. I mean, you can go through a laundry list of options that could be, but he hasn't been in his house, according to the police. They've been keeping eyes on it. His primary cell phone that they're aware of is not on or not traceable. So he could simply have another phone. Somebody could have purchased it for him. You could go through a lot of different ways you could do it if you were so inclined. Big T, forfeit contract, no cap hit. Okay, fair enough. Canadian Chief Chris, what do you got? I think a Gator got him. Hopefully not, or hopefully not an Anaconda or 20 other things. All right, Steve-O, kind of crappy way for it to happen, but Cam being stupid might have helped. The Lions out of a bad mid to bad contract. At this point, man, I'm just hoping he's okay. The contract and all that stuff, that will right itself in time. Brother Ken, Dan, I want to say thank you for dedication, hard work, and objectivity. You are the man. No, thank you guys for being here, man, because I love to death doing this stuff, man. I absolutely miss being a full-time reporter. This is fun. It's engaging, and I love getting to know all you guys, too. So thank you for that. All right, Troy, are we talking taking the dead money? It sounds like a couple people have confirmed or other sources have confirmed, and they were in the chat saying that, the Lions are going to be – the Cam Sutton contract will be voided. Lions will receive that $10.5 million back. So if they are going to make a move for somebody else, I would expect it to probably happen relatively soon, as they're going to want to address this prior to the draft, in my opinion. Robert G. Dan's the man. Exclamation points, no doubt. Thank you for that. Michael, thumbs up. All right. Thank you for that very much, guys. All right, we've been on, 40-plus minutes, so wasn't expecting to go that long. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 62, then even 6,300 subs. And if you enjoyed the content in today's video, hit the thumbs up button. Before you all go, say a prayer for Cam Sutton, the alleged victim, and all involved. I'm just hoping the guy's okay. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.